Oh,
I won't stay
my
silent any
God.
longer. What is that power? My strength. For 3 years, I was a ghost.
Watch where you're going, Shadow.
He's not breathing!
Somebody do something.
Get down, now! They finally saw me.
Petra woke up in the morning and did not know that her life was about to change forever. She did not know that this particular day would be different from the 364 days that came before it. She woke up like always. She got dressed like always. She ate a small breakfast like always, and then she walked to the mess hall like always, but something inside her body was different. Something was waking up. Something was getting ready to show the world who she really was. She did not feel it yet. She did not understand it yet. She only knew that her hand was shaking a little bit when she picked up her breakfast tray. The mess hall was a long room with many tables. There were about 200 soldiers eating breakfast at the same time. The noise was loud. The voices were loud. The sound of forks and spoons hitting metal plates was loud. Everything was loud except for Petra. Petra was always quiet. Petra did not make noise. Petra did not take up space. Petra had learned a long time ago that the best way to survive in this military world was to be like a ghost. To be there, but not really be there. To exist, but not really exist. She sat down at her usual table in the corner of the room. The corner was the safest place, because she could see everything but nobody had to look at her. Nobody usually sat with her. The table was always empty except for her. This was the way she liked it. This was the way she had arranged her life to be. But today, something different happened. Marcus walked past her table. Marcus was the kind of person who always walked with his shoulders back and his head high. He was tall and strong and confident. He was the kind of soldier who people noticed right away. He was the kind of person who did not have to work to be seen. The world just saw him. The world just noticed him. The world just liked him. Petra had noticed him from the very first day she arrived at the military base 3 years ago. She had noticed him, but she had never spoken to him. She had never tried to be his friend. She had never done anything to make him see her, because she knew what happened to girls like her when they tried to get the attention of boys like him. They got crushed. They got embarrassed. They got turned into jokes that everyone remembered for years. Marcus stopped right next to her table. He did this on purpose. He could have walked straight past, but he stopped. His friend Tommy stopped with him, and then a third soldier stopped. They stood there looking down at Petra like she was something strange that they had found on the ground. Marcus said something that made Tommy laugh. Tommy was the kind of person who laughed at everything that Marcus said. This was because Tommy wanted Marcus to like him. This was because Tommy wanted to be part of the group that Marcus was in. This was how power worked in the military. You had to make the powerful people like you. You had to laugh at their jokes. You had to agree with them. You had to make them feel good about themselves. Look at her hair, Marcus said. He was talking about Petra's hair. This was strange because her hair looked the same way it looked every other day. She had dark brown hair that she kept pulled back in a simple way. There was nothing special about her hair. There was nothing wrong with her hair. But today, for some reason, her hair was something to laugh about. Petra did not say anything. She did not look up. She did not move. She kept pushing her food around her plate, with her fork like the words that Marcus was saying were not even reaching her ears. But they were reaching her ears. They were going deep inside her, and they were hurting her. But she did not let anyone see that they were hurting her. The pain was an old pain. The pain was something she had learned to carry with her, like a bag that weighed 100 pounds. Every single day, she woke up and put that bag on her back. Every single day, she carried it around. Every single day, she told herself that if she just kept quiet, if she just did not fight back, if she just accepted the pain, then maybe one day people would stop hurting her. But it was not working. It had not worked for 3 years, and it was not going to work now. Tommy made another comment about her clothes. He said something about how she dressed like someone's grandmother. He said this loud enough so that other soldiers would hear. He said this so that they would all laugh together. And they did laugh. Soldiers at other tables started laughing. The laughter spread around the room like a wave. Everyone was looking at her now. Everyone was seeing her. But they were only seeing her so they could make fun of her. And here was the strange thing that nobody understood. Being seen as a joke was almost the same as being invisible. Being seen so that you could be hurt was almost like not being seen at all. Because you are not being seen as a real person. You are not being seen as a human being with feelings. You were being seen as something that could be used for entertainment. You were being seen as something that other people could hurt to make themselves feel bigger and more powerful. Petra finished her food. Stood up. She took a tray to the place where the dirty trays went. The whole time, she could feel the eyes on her. The whole time, she could hear the whispers. The whole time, she could feel the jokes being made about her. But she did not cry. She did not yell. She did not fight back. She just walked out of the mess hall. But something was different this time. Something inside her body had changed. Something inside her chest was burning. It was not a normal burn. It was not like fire. It was like electricity. It was like lightning living inside her. It was like her body was trying to tell her something that her mind could not understand yet. She walked outside into the cold air. The sun was coming up over the mountains. The sky was changing from dark to light. The world was waking up. And Petra was standing in the middle of the world, and something inside her was waking up too. She looked down at her hands. Her hands were shaking, but they were not shaking from fear. They were shaking from something else. They were shaking from that burning inside her chest. They were shaking from electricity that was running through her body. They were shaking from power that was trying to come out. She made a fist with her right hand. She made it slowly. She felt the strength in her fingers. She felt the strength in her hand. And for the first time in her life, she started to understand something. She started to understand that maybe, just maybe, she was not as weak as she thought she was. She started to understand that maybe the burning inside her meant something. She started to understand that maybe something was happening to her that would change everything. But she did not know what it was yet. She only knew that it was coming. She only knew that she could feel it in her body. She only knew that something was about to happen that would make the soldiers who had laughed at her see her in a completely different way. She did not know that this feeling was just the beginning. She did not know that in 3 days she would do something that would shock everyone. She did not know that her life was about to split into 2 parts. Everything before this moment, and everything that would come after. She just stood there in the cold morning air with the burning inside her chest, and she waited. She waited for her body to show her what she was really capable of. She waited for the world to finally see her. She waited for the day when being invisible would no longer be an option, because something was waking up inside Petra, and it was hungry, and it was powerful, and it was ready to
3 days
change
had
her
passed
whole
since
world.
Petra stood in the cold morning air with a burning inside her chest. 3 days is not a long time in normal life. 3 days is like a heartbeat. 3 days is like nothing. But in Petra's life, 3 days felt like a century. 3 days felt like she was living inside a dream that was slowly becoming real. The burning did not go away. That was the first thing that was different. The burning had always gone away before. When she got hurt by words, she would cry at night, and then the next day the pain would be smaller. When she got hurt by mockery, she would feel sad, and then the sadness would disappear. But this burning was different. This burning was staying with her. This burning was growing stronger. She could feel it when she woke up in the morning. She could feel it when she walked to the training ground. She could feel it in her hands. She could feel it in her shoulders. She could feel it moving around inside her body like it was looking for a way out, like it was a living thing trying to escape from a cage. The other soldiers did not notice anything different about her. They did not look at her. They did not see her. They did what they always did. They ignored her. They walked past her like she was invisible. But Petra knew that something inside her had changed. She knew that her body was different. She knew that something was about to happen. It happened on the morning of the 4th day. The sergeant called everyone to the training ground for physical testing. This was something they did every month. The sergeant wanted to see who was getting stronger and who was getting weaker. Petra had never done very well on these tests. Her upper body strength was always her worst part. She could never do many pull-ups. She could never lift heavy things. This was what the other soldiers always made fun of. The sergeant started with running. Petra ran like always. She was fast. She had always been fast. That was one thing she was good at. The sergeant recorded the time. He did not say anything about it. He just wrote it down on his paper. Then came the push-ups. Petra got down on the ground and did push-ups. She did 30 push-ups without stopping. The sergeant wrote this down. He did not say anything, but Petra could see that he was looking at her a little bit strange. Like something about her was different. Then came the pull-ups. The pull-up bar was in the middle of the training ground. All the soldiers could see it. All the soldiers would watch when each person did their test. This was how it always worked. Everyone watched. Everyone saw who was strong and who was weak. Everyone remembered who could do the most pull-ups. Petra walked over to the bar. Her hands were shaking again. But this time, they were not shaking from fear. They were shaking from that burning inside her. That burning was getting very strong now. That burning was asking her to do something. That burning was pushing her to try something she had never tried before. She grabbed the bar with her hands. The bar was cold metal. The bar was hard. The bar was something she had grabbed 100 times before. But this time it felt different in her hands. This time it felt like the bar was waiting for something. This time it felt like she was about to change her whole life. She took a deep breath. She pulled herself up. 1 pull-up. She did it easy. 2 pull-ups. 3 pull-ups. 4 pull-ups. 5 pull-ups. She kept going. She could feel the burning inside her moving up her arms. She could feel it giving her strength. She could feel it pushing her up. She could feel it saying to her, "You are stronger than you thought. You are more powerful than they told you." 10 pull-ups. 15 pull-ups. 20 pull-ups. The training ground had gone quiet. Nobody was talking. Nobody was laughing. Nobody was making jokes. Everyone was just watching. Everyone was seeing something that they did not understand. Everyone was looking at Petra doing something that she had never done before. 25 pull-ups. She did 25 pull-ups without stopping, without breaking, without slowing down. She did not feel tired. She did not feel weak. She felt strong. She felt powerful. She felt like she was flying. She came down from the bar. She was breathing hard. Her body was covered with sweat, but her mind was clear. Her mind was alive. Her mind was understanding something that it had never understood before. The sergeant was staring at her. His mouth was open. He did not know what to say. He did not know what he had just seen. Nobody knew what they had just seen. Then Marcus started walking toward her. Marcus had a strange look on his face. It was not the look of someone who wanted to laugh. It was the look of someone who wanted to understand something. It was the look of someone who was confused. He said, "That was not possible. You could never do that before." Petra did not say anything. She did not know what to say. She did not understand what had happened to her either. She only knew that the burning was real. She only knew that something inside her was true and powerful and real. The other soldiers started talking. They were talking about what they had just seen. They were talking about how she had done something that should not be possible. They were talking about the pull-ups. They were counting. They were remembering that she had never done more than 5 before. Now she had done 25. That evening, in the mess hall, something strange happened. Petra was eating her dinner alone like always. She was sitting in her corner like always. But this time, people kept looking at her. This time, people kept whispering about her. This time, she was not invisible anymore. She was visible. She was the person that everyone was talking about. Marcus walked over to her table. This was unusual. Marcus had never come to her table before. Marcus did not talk to girls like Petra. But now he was walking toward her like he wanted something. He stood next to her table. He looked down at her. He said, "I want to arm wrestle you." Petra did not understand why he wanted to do this. But she understood what it meant. It meant that he wanted to test her. It meant that he wanted to see if what happened in the training ground was real or if it was just luck. It meant that he wanted to know if she was really strong now, or if it was just a one-time thing. Other soldiers started gathering around. They heard what Marcus said, and they wanted to see what would happen. They wanted to see if Petra could beat Marcus. They wanted to see if the girl who was invisible could actually be stronger than the boy that everyone was afraid of. Petra stood up. She did not know why she was standing up. She did not know why she was saying yes. But the burning inside her was telling her to do it. The burning was telling her that this was important. The burning was telling her that this was a moment that would change everything. They sat down across from each other. They locked arms. Petra could feel the burning inside her rising up. She could feel it moving through her shoulders. She could feel it gathering in her hand. She could feel it saying to her, "Show him. Show all of them. Show the world what you are capable of." Marcus was pushing with all his strength. Marcus was using every muscle in his body. But there was something inside Petra that was stronger than his strength. There was something inside her that was not normal. There was something inside her that was real and powerful and true. She pushed his arm down to the table in 4 seconds. It was not even close. It was not even a contest. It was over before it started. And in that moment, Petra understood that her life would never be the same again. She understood that she could never go back to being invisible. She understood that something inside her had woken up and it was never going to sleep again. And everyone in the mess hall understood it too. Everyone could see that something had changed. Everyone could see that Petra was not the girl they thought she was. Everyone could see that she was something completely different, something powerful, something real, something that nobody had expected. The next morning, a message came to Petra. The message said that she had to go to the commander's office. The message did not say why. The message did not say what she had done wrong. Petra's heart started beating very fast when she read the message. She had never been called to the commander's office before. Nobody like her ever got called to the commander's office. The commander's office was for important soldiers. The commander's office was for soldiers who did good things or bad things that mattered. Petra had always tried to be the kind of soldier that nobody noticed. She had always tried to do things in a way that did not matter to anyone. And now the commander wanted to see her. She walked up the stairs to his office. With every step, her heart was beating faster. With every step, she was thinking about all the things that might happen. Maybe he was going to tell her that she was in trouble. Maybe he was going to tell her that she was using some kind of drug that made her stronger. Maybe he was going to tell her that she had to leave the military. Maybe he was going to tell her that something was wrong with her body. But none of those things happened. When she walked into the commander's office, the commander was standing by a window. He was looking out at the military base. He was looking at the soldiers' training. He was looking at the world that he ran and controlled. He did not turn around when she came in. He just kept looking out the window for a long time. Petra stood there waiting. She did not sit down. She did not speak. She just stood there and waited for him to say something to her. Finally, the commander turned around. He was an old man with gray hair and eyes that had seen things that Petra could not imagine. He was the kind of person who had power, real power, the kind of power that came from making big decisions that changed people's lives. He looked at Petra for a very long time without saying anything. This was strange. This was making her feel even more nervous. This was making her feel like something important was about to happen. Then he said, "Close the door, soldier." Petra closed the door. She did not know why she had to close the door. She did not know why this conversation had to be private. She only knew that whatever was about to happen was serious and important. The commander went to his desk and picked up a folder. The folder had her name on it. He opened it slowly and he started reading the papers inside. He was reading something about her. He was reading something that had her information on it. He was reading something that made his face look very serious. He said, "Do you know what these numbers mean?" Petra did not know what numbers he was talking about. She did not know what papers he was looking at. She only knew that she was scared and confused. The commander turned the folder around so that she could see it. He pointed to some numbers that were written on a piece of paper. He said, "These are your medical test results. These are the results from the tests we did on all the soldiers after the arm wrestling incident." Petra did not remember taking any medical tests. She did not remember doctors coming to look at her, but she guessed that they had done tests without telling her. She guessed that they had taken her blood or measured her body or done something to understand what was happening to her. The commander said, "Your muscle density has increased by 30% in 3 days. 30%, soldier. That is not normal. Your bone density has increased by 25%. Your strength is 5 times greater than any normal human being, and your body is still changing." Petra did not understand. She did not know what to say. She only knew that the commander was telling her that something was very wrong with her body. She only knew that he was telling her that she was not a normal person anymore. The commander sat down in his chair. He said, "Sit down, soldier. I have something important to tell you." Petra sat down. Her hands were shaking. Her heart was beating very fast. She was scared. She was confused. She was wondering if she was sick. She was wondering if she was going to die. The commander said, "I have been in the military for 40 years. I have seen many soldiers come and go. I have seen soldiers do amazing things. I have seen soldiers do terrible things. But I have never seen anything like what is happening to you." He leaned forward and he said, "The question is not whether you can do these things. You have already proven that you can do them. The question is why. Why is your body changing? Why are you becoming stronger? Why is this happening to you?" Petra said, "I do not know, sir. I do not know what is happening to me." The commander stood up and he walked around his desk. He came and stood right in front of Petra. He said, "I am going to tell you something that is going to sound crazy, but I need you to listen to me very carefully. And I need you to believe me when I tell you this." Petra nodded. She did not say anything. She just listened. The commander said, "There are people in this world who are born with something special inside them. Something that most people do not have. Something that science cannot fully explain. For most of their lives, this special thing stays hidden. It stays quiet. It stays sleeping. But sometimes when a person goes through great pain, when a person goes through great suffering, when a person gets pushed to their breaking point, this special thing wakes up." He paused. He said, "I believe that is what is happening to you. I believe that all those years of being hurt by other soldiers, all those years of being invisible, all those years of suffering, your body was protecting itself. Your body was gathering power. Your body was preparing for something." Petra said, "Preparing for what?" The commander said, "That is what we need to find out together. But I want to ask you something first, and I want you to tell me the truth." He said, "Do you feel different? Do you feel something inside your body that was not there before?" And Petra knew that he was talking about the burning. He was talking about the electricity inside her. He was talking about the power that she could feel moving through her arms and her shoulders and her chest. She said, "Yes, sir. I feel something. It feels like fire. It feels like electricity. It feels like something alive inside me." The commander nodded. He said, "That feeling is important. That feeling is real. That feeling is your power trying to become part of who you are." He walked back to his desk and he sat down. He said, "Now I have to ask you the most important question. It is a question that will change your life depending on how you answer it." Petra was listening very carefully now. She was not scared anymore. She was just listening. The commander said, "I can give you a choice. You could try to hide this power. You could try to keep it secret. You could try to go back to being the invisible girl that nobody sees. Many people would choose that. Many people would choose the easy path. But it will not make the power go away. It will only make you sad. It will only make you sick. It will only destroy you from the inside out." He paused. He said, "Or you can choose something different. You can choose to understand this power. You can choose to learn what it means. You can choose to become something that the military has never seen before." He leaned back in his chair and he said the words that would change everything. He said, "The question is, Petra, are you ready to stop being invisible? Are you ready to let people see you? Are you ready to become the person you are supposed to be?" Petra felt the burning inside her rise up. She felt it move through her chest. She felt it asking her to make a choice. She felt it asking her to say yes. And for the first time in 3 years, she understood what she really wanted. She did not want to hide. She did not want to be invisible. She did not want to suffer anymore. She wanted to be seen. She wanted to be strong. She wanted to become who she was meant to be. She looked at the commander and she said, "Yes, sir. I am ready." And the moment she said those words, she felt the burning change. It did not go away, but it stopped hurting. It started feeling like power. It started feeling like purpose. It started feeling like something that could change the world. That same evening, something happened that nobody could have expected. Something that would prove everything the commander had said. Something that would show the entire military base exactly what Petra was capable of. Something that would change her forever. Petra was walking back to her quarters after the commander's meeting. She was thinking about what he had said. She was thinking about the choice she had made. She was thinking about becoming visible instead of invisible. She was thinking about all of this when the alarm started. The alarm was different from other alarms. This was not a practice alarm. This was a real alarm. This was an alarm that meant something dangerous was happening right now. This was an alarm that meant people could get hurt. This was an alarm that meant someone needed help. The alarm was coming from the storage facility on the eastern side of the base. The storage facility was where they kept ammunition and explosives and heavy equipment. The storage facility was one of the most dangerous places on the base. If something went wrong there, if something broke, if something fell, people could die. Petra did not think about it. She did not plan it. She did not make a decision. She just started running toward the sound of the alarm. She was running as fast as she could. Other soldiers were running too. Everyone was running to see what was happening. When she got to the storage facility, she saw something terrible. One of the walls had collapsed. The wall had been holding up heavy equipment. The wall had been holding up metal beams and ammunition boxes and tools. And now the wall had broken. Now everything was falling. Now everything was crashing down. 3 soldiers were trapped under the fallen material. 1 soldier was trapped under a huge metal beam. The beam was the size of a car. The beam was made of thick steel. The beam weighed 800 pounds, maybe more. The soldier under the beam was making sounds of pain. The soldier was trying to move, but he could not move. The soldier's leg was under the beam. His leg was pinned. His leg might be crushed. If they did not get the beam off him very soon, he was going to lose his leg. Maybe he was going to lose his life. The medical team arrived. The rescue team arrived. Everyone was shouting and running and trying to help. But nobody knew what to do. The beam was too heavy. The equipment needed to lift the beam would take 15 minutes to set up. 15 minutes might be too long. The commander was there. He was looking at the situation. He was looking at the beam. He was looking at the trapped soldier. And then he was looking at Petra. Petra understood what he was thinking. Petra understood what he was asking her without words. He was asking if she was really ready. He was asking if she meant what she said when she said yes. He was asking if she would use her power to save someone. He was asking if she would reveal herself to everyone. Petra walked forward. The other soldiers moved out of her way. They did not know why they were moving. They just felt like they needed to get away from her. They just felt like something important was about to happen. She came to the beam. She looked down at the soldier, trapped under it. She could see his face. She could see his eyes. She could see fear in his eyes. She could see pain in his eyes. She could see a man who thought he was about to lose everything. And Petra knew that she had to do something. She knew that she had to use the power inside her. She knew that this was the moment. This was the moment that the commander had been talking about. This was the moment that would change everything. She took a deep breath. She bent down. She put her hands under the metal beam. The beam was hot. The beam was rough. The beam was heavy. The beam was the kind of thing that a normal person could never move. But Petra was not a normal person anymore. She felt the burning inside her rise up. She felt it move through her arms. She felt it gather in her shoulders. She felt it move down through her legs and into the ground. She felt her entire body come alive with power. She felt her entire body transform into something that could do impossible things. And then she pulled. The beam moved. Just a little bit. Just an inch. Just enough to show that she could move it. But she did not stop there. She kept pulling. She pulled harder. She pulled with everything inside her. She pulled with the power that had been growing for 3 years. She pulled with the burning that had been waiting to be released. The beam came up. The beam was lifting off the ground. The beam was going higher and higher. The beam was completely off the soldier now. The beam was above her head. She was holding it. She was holding 800 pounds of metal above her head with her 2 hands, with her arms, with her body, with the power inside her. The soldiers under the beam screamed. They crawled away. They ran away from the beam. The medical team rushed in and pulled the injured soldier away to safety. The other trapped soldiers ran away as fast as they could. And Petra, still holding the beam above her head, was standing alone. She was standing in the middle of the storage facility. She was standing with impossible strength. She was standing with power that should not exist. She was standing with the burning inside her released into the world. Slowly, carefully, she lowered the beam. She did not drop it. She did not let it crash. She had complete control. She guided it down slowly. She set it gently on the ground. She made sure it was stable. She made sure nobody would get hurt. Then she stood up straight. She looked at her hands. Her hands were not hurt. Her hands were not damaged. Her hands had just done something that was impossible. She turned around. The entire military base was looking at her. Every soldier who had run to help was staring at her. Every soldier who had heard the alarm was staring at her. Every soldier who had ever laughed at her, who had ever mocked her, who had ever made her feel small, was staring at her. And none of them were laughing. None of them were mocking. None of them were making her feel small. They were looking at her like she was something they did not understand. They were looking at her like she was something from a movie. They were looking at her like she was something that should not be real, but that they had just seen with their own eyes. One soldier started clapping. It was a soft sound at first, but then another soldier started clapping. Then another. Then another. Soon the entire base was clapping. The entire base was watching her. The entire base was seeing her. Not as the invisible girl. Not as the weak one. Not as the girl that nobody liked. But as Petra. As a person. As a soldier. As someone who had done something impossible. As someone who had saved another person's life. The commander walked toward her. He was not clapping. He was just walking toward her. When he got to her, he looked into her eyes. He said, "Now they see you." And Petra understood. She understood that her life was completely different now. She understood that she could never be invisible again. She understood that the world had changed in that moment. The world had seen what she was capable of. The world would never forget. And the burning inside her, instead of hurting, was finally making her feel like she belonged. Finally making her feel like she mattered. Finally making her feel like she was exactly where she was supposed to be. 6 months had passed since the day that Petra lifted the metal beam. 6 months is long enough to see if change is real or if it is just temporary. 6 months is long enough to understand if a person has truly transformed or if they are still the same person hiding under a different name. Petra was not hiding anymore. This was the first thing that had changed. She walked through the military base like she belonged there. She walked with her head up. She walked like she knew who she was. She walked like she knew that she mattered. But something else was different too. Something that most people did not notice. Something that the commander had seen very clearly. Petra was not happy in the military. She was not happy with power. She was not happy with being the strongest person on the base. She was only truly happy when she was helping someone. The commander called her into his office one more time. He said that the military had many plans for her. He said that they wanted to train her. He said that they wanted to use her abilities to protect the country. He said that they wanted to make her into a weapon. Petra listened to all of this. She listened very carefully. She understood that this was an honor. She understood that most people would say yes immediately. She understood that saying no would be throwing away an incredible opportunity. But she said no. The commander was surprised. The commander asked her why. The commander asked her what she wanted to do instead. And Petra told him the truth. She said, "Sir, I do not want to be a weapon. I do not want my power to be used to hurt people. I do not want to spend my life following orders in a system that allowed me to suffer for 3 years without helping me. I want to help people. I want to use my power to build things, not to destroy things. I want to make the world better." The commander sat back in his chair. He was quiet for a very long time. Then he said something that surprised Petra. He said, "I think you are right. I think that is exactly what you should do." He wrote a letter that allowed her to leave the military. He gave her honorable discharge. He told her that she would always be welcome at the base. He told her that what she did was brave and important. He told her that saving people was more important than any weapon could ever be. Petra left the military base on a cold morning. The sun was just coming up. The sky was the same color it had been 6 months ago when she stood outside and felt the burning inside her for the first time. But she was different now. Everything inside her was different. She moved to the city. She found a small building that used to be an old gym. She used all the money she had saved from her time in the military to rent it. She painted the walls. She bought equipment. She made it into a place where people could come and learn. She called it the Center for Real Strength. The name was important because Petra had learned something very important about strength. She had learned that real strength is not about how much weight you can lift. Real strength is not about how much power you have. Real strength is about knowing who you are. Real strength is about believing in yourself when nobody else believes in you. Real strength is about standing up when the world is trying to push you down. The first people who came to her center were women who had been hurt. Women who had been bullied. Women who did not believe in themselves. Women who were invisible, just like Petra had been invisible. Petra taught these women how to fight. But more than that, she taught them how to believe in themselves. She taught them that they were stronger than they thought. She taught them that they mattered. She taught them that the world needed them. She did not tell them about her own power. She did not tell them that she could lift 800 pounds. She did not tell them that she had abilities that nobody could explain. She only told them about her pain. She only told them about her suffering. She only told them about the journey from being invisible to being seen. One day, a woman came to her center who reminded her exactly of herself. The woman was thin and small. The woman had eyes that looked down instead of up. The woman did not believe that she could do anything. The woman had been told her whole life that she was weak. Petra spent extra time with this woman. She taught her very carefully. She moved slowly with her. She showed her that even small movements could be powerful. She showed her that even people who seem weak can be strong. One day, after many months of training, this woman did a push-up for the first time in her life. She did one push-up, just one, but it was the first push-up she had ever done. And when she stood up, she was crying. She was crying because she had done something that she thought was impossible. Petra hugged her, and in that moment, Petra understood something very important. She understood what her real power was. Her real power was not in her arms. Her real power was not in her strength. Her real power was in her ability to show other people that they could change. Her real power was in her ability to help someone see themselves differently. Her real power was in knowing exactly how it felt to be invisible and in knowing exactly how it felt to become visible. The burning inside her was still there. It never went away. It became part of who she was. But it was not the same kind of burning anymore. It was not burning with pain. It was burning with purpose. It was burning with meaning. It was burning with the knowledge that she was exactly where she was supposed to be. Years passed. The center grew. More and more women came. More and more lives changed. More and more people discovered that they were stronger than they thought they were. More and more people stopped being invisible. Petra never became famous. She never became known around the world. She never tried to become important. But the people whose lives she changed knew exactly who she was. They knew that she had saved them. They knew that she had shown them that change was possible. They knew that she had given them their lives back. Marcus, the soldier who had bullied her, came to her center one day. He was different now. He was older. He had gotten out of the military too. He came because he wanted to say sorry. He came because he wanted to understand why he had been cruel. Petra talked with him for a long time. She did not yell at him. She did not make him feel bad. She only told him that people hurt other people when they are hurt themselves. She told him that she forgave him. She told him that she hoped he would forgive himself. And he did. On the 10th anniversary of the day, she lifted the beam. Petra stood in her center and looked around at all the women who had come to train. She looked at their strong faces. She looked at their confident eyes. She looked at women who had been invisible and who had become visible. And she thought about that girl who had sat alone in the mess hall 3 years ago. She thought about that girl who had felt invisible. She thought about that girl who did not know that she had power inside her. She realized that the girl was still inside her. She realized that the pain was still inside her. She realized that the burning was still inside her. But it was not hurting anymore. It was not angry anymore. It was at peace. Petra had learned that transformation is not about becoming someone different. Transformation is about becoming who you were always supposed to be. Transformation is about taking your pain and turning it into purpose. Transformation is about taking your burning and turning it into light. And that is exactly what she had done. She had taken the burning that came from 3 years of suffering, and she had turned it into a light that helped other people see themselves. She had taken the power that came from being pushed to her breaking point, and she had used it to help other people find their own strength. She had taken her story of pain, and she had made it into a story of hope. That is what real power means. Not strength, not weapons, not force, but the ability to change lives. The ability to help people become who they are supposed to be. The ability to take darkness and turn it into light. And every single day, Petra woke up with the burning inside her. But now she knew exactly what to do with it. She knew exactly how to use it. She knew exactly why she had been given this gift. She used it to awaken other people. She used it to help other people find their own burning. She used it to show other people that they were never invisible. They had only been sleeping. And it was time to wake up.